I'm back with another video, folks, and for yesterday's video, when I did the unboxing review of Classic Percy and Classic Nia, I just want to come on here and say that I'm kind of sorry. I'm sorry if I had a little bit of an attitude yesterday about like the during the unboxing or review and everything. I'm sorry I'm sorry if I had a little bit of an attitude about it though. But yeah, I was just annoyed because as you guys know that Classic Thomas, and I forgot to mention the launch and barrel delivery set Thomas as well, that the launch and barrel delivery set Thomas and the Classic Thomas have the paint. Now I learned that this, I think, is actually some watermark or whatever it is. It's some kind of water splatter or whatever it is. I don't know, but I'm just gonna call it a watermark or watermarks. Yeah, so as you see, so Classic Thomas has the watermark on both sides of him, and the launch and barrel delivery set Thomas also has the watermarks on both sides of him as well. And yeah, but when I got, and yeah, like that's correct, and like that's correct as it's advertised. And but as for Classic Nia, uh everything about Classic Nia that I saw pictures of her, pictures of her before I purchased Classic Nia, that everything with Classic Nia is correct and all that. So everything with Classic Nia, folks, is correct. There's zero errors. So yeah, there's zero errors for Nia. Thank God there is no errors. Which I could say is that thank God there is zero errors for Classic Nia. And same thing with Classic Percy. But however, the only one error that there's only one error for Classic Percy, folks. And that's because when I saw pictures of Classic Percy, that he had the watermark covering his entire door right here, and same thing with on the other side as well. And I think little bits of parts of watermark were covered right here and maybe here as well, and same on this side as well, I believe, or maybe some over here too on this side and that side as well, I believe. But mostly, all I remember is just seeing, before I got Classic Percy, seeing him on photos and everything, seeing photos of him, all I remember seeing is just the door on both sides of Percy being covered in watermarks. But yeah, but that's why I was so upset yesterday, because I thought mine was gonna be like that, but mine unfortunately was not like that. Like, mine does not have the watermarks. Yeah, mine does not have the watermarks covering both doors, this side and this side of Classic Percy. Yeah, that one does not have the watermarks for some reason, and that's the only one error. That's the only error, meaning that there's only one error for Classic Percy, is that he's just missing the watermark. He's just missing the watermark on this side of him for that door, and also this side for him as well, for this door as well. So yeah, both sides he's missing the watermarks for both doors, as you can see. But yeah, I was kind of upset about it though, because and I just noticed it last night. Or no, I noticed it like right when I unboxed him, and I didn't even notice it at all until I unboxed him during the review, when I saw that he was showing a no watermark, or yeah, watermarks. You would think so, but I'm sorry about my neighbor's dogs, folks. I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, no, sorry about the background noise. Yeah, that my neighbor's dogs, of course, yeah, they're barking and everything, but it's just ignore that though. But yeah, so anyhow, folks, they yeah, that's why I was so upset, because I thought I was gonna be getting, like, when I got Classic Percy, I thought, because I was expecting to see Classic Percy, like this door of Classic Percy, the whole entire door being covered in watermarks, and same thing with on this side as well. That for both doors, I was expecting Classic Percy's both doors and everything. I was expecting to see watermarks covering it, covering both door sides of Classic Percy. That's what I was expecting, but nope. Mine is not like that at all. And that's the only one error. That's the only one error that there is that, yeah, that's the only one error. That's the only one error that there is, folks, is that Classic Percy is just missing the watermark on this side of his door, and same thing with this door on the other side as well. So yeah, that's the only error, meaning that there's only one error. That's the only one error that Classic Percy has, is that what I just said, like, there's no watermark. There is no watermark on this door of Percy, and same with this door of Percy, the Classic Percy. Yeah, that's the only error though, but yeah, that's why I was so upset last night though, because I was expecting to see the watermarks on both doors of Percy, but unfortunately, the one that I got did not have it at all. So yeah. So so yeah, that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, but honestly, folks, I mean, even though I'm not a fan of the watermarks on the Launch and Barrel Thomas and the Classic Thomas, even though I'm not a fan of the watermarks, I mean, but I don't mind them though. I mean, like, I don't mind them at all. They don't bother me at all, but it's only just that I'm just not a fan of them. All right, I'm just not a fan of the watermarks at all on the engines. I'm just not a fan of it though, but at the same time, I don't mind it for what it is. And yeah, I would not have mind at all if my Classic Percy engine had the watermark on the door right here and on the other door as well of Classic Percy. I would not have mind at all. I would not have minded at all as the way it's advertised and everything. But in one way, folks, you know what? I'm actually kind of a little bit happy at the same time that mine actually did not come with the watermarks on both doors of Percy on both sides, the classic Percy I meant. I'm actually happy that mine didn't though. Even though I'm not a fan of the watermarks and um but I don't mind them at the same time. That basically, folks, what I can just say is that I'm just happy and well. I mean, I would not have minded though. I would have not have minded at all. I mean, I would not have minded at all if my classic Percy engine came how it's like advertised and everything with what I already said with the doors being covered in the watermark for both of them on both sides. I would not have minded at all if it came like how it was like advertised and everything. Which if that was the case, there would have been I would have discovered 0 errors if that was the case, boy. But nope, since this is the one that I got though, but since this one for some reason, this classic Percy engine for some reason happened to be sold or come without the watermarks on both sides, since that happened to be the case, that on my end, I'm actually happy that I actually have one without the watermark. And yeah, and like the white buffers, or no, like the white running board right there. Yeah, no, I'm actually happy that this is the type of classic Percy engine that I got. But I just happened to I'm glad I have classic Percy and classic Nia too, even though they're both not my favorites for this line. That at least I can say that I have them. But the way I'll put it is that you know, there's not anything else to explain, folks. That you know what? So you know, I'm just gonna run them right now, and all that. And you know what? I forgot what else I was gonna say, folks. But you know what? If I remember what I was gonna say, I'm actually not gonna like say what it is or whatever, because I rather just like, you know, move forward and all that. And yeah, all I'm gonna but yeah, no, but yeah, but this one though, I just happened to get lucky or something. That I mean, most people would probably be annoyed, just like how I was last night, if they got a train that has like errors on it or something. No matter how many errors it has or whatever, that people would probably be annoyed too, just like me. And even though my classic Percy has only one, even though my classic Percy, well, yeah, my classic Percy, even though it only has only one error, yeah, even though it has only one error, that, yeah, even though it has only one error, even though it only has one error, my classic Percy that I got yesterday, even though it only has one error, that yeah, I was upset about it at first though. But you know what? But now that it's the next day and I slept on it, you know what, folks? Now I'm actually happier today than I was yesterday about it. That today I'm actually happier. And why am I happier? Because I'm actually happier because mine ended up coming without those watermarks on both sides of the doors of how it's advertised. And yeah, that was the one error that this Classic Percy train has of mine, that both sides of the doors on both sides of Classic Percy are missing the watermarks. But yeah, but honestly, folks, I'm okay that mine doesn't have it though. That I actually like it better without the watermark, in my opinion, because I think it just looks more professional that way. So yeah, with that being said, that yeah, I'm not gonna go return this, and I'm not going to buy a new one. All right, I'm just gonna keep this one forever and be happy with it, even though it's not my favorite. That and Classic Nia are not my favorites for this range. I'm still gonna keep this Classic Percy and all that. And if I do buy a new one, a new Classic Percy, I buy this time with the watermark, if I happen to, and keep this one at the same time, that I'm not going to do at all. Unless I change my mind, but we'll see, folks. We'll just see what happens. So yeah. But don't mind me if I ever do change my mind or what though, or what I would do with it. But yeah, but for now, currently, folks, I'm just keeping it how it is. I'm never going to complain again that mine does not have the waterfront at, or the watermark at both doors of Classic Percy, on both sides of Classic Percy, the engine itself. I'm never going to complain about it again, that it has the one error, and that one error is that it's missing the watermarks on both sides of Percy for the door and everything. I'm not going to complain about that anymore because I'm over it, and because I actually like it better without the watermark. Yeah, it's better without the watermark, in my opinion. I would not have mind at all if mine came with the watermark of how it's advertised. Then there would have been zero errors. But since there's one error and it's missing the watermarks for both doors for Classic Percy that I got yesterday, that I'm not going to complain about no more, because I actually prefer it like that, and to me that's no error to me at all. But yeah. Yeah, and I won't repeat myself about it, folks. I'll never talk about it again or what, though, now that you guys know and everything. So yeah. Alrighty. I'm actually gonna run this now, actually. I'll run the Etsu. So yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself ever again about Classic Percy. That you guys, now that I have explained it, now that I have explained to you guys of how like my Classic Percy happened to have one error because it's missing the watermarks on both sides, or both of the Classic Percy engines door and everything. Well, both doors for both sides. That now that I have explained that it has the one error for what I just said, that it's missing the watermark on both doors and everything. Now that I have explained that I never have to repeat myself about it ever again. And same thing about how I feel about the watermarks on the engines of the characters, you know. Because, you know, folks, this is how I'm gonna put it as. What I'm gonna say it, the way I'll say it is that in one way, I feel lucky. Actually, no. In one way, folks, I feel lucky that my Classic Percy ended up coming without the watermarks on it, instead of with the watermarks of how it's advertised and how it should have came, because that would have been 0 errors. But luckily for me, mine had the one error, and that was missing the watermark for both of the doors on both sides of Percy. Yeah, that's a win for me, and I feel lucky that mine actually came that way. And yeah, so I'm never gonna complain about it again, nor repeat myself about it though. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys if this has ever happened to you guys, or something like what happened to me right here and everything. Let me know in the comments. You know, I kind of said something in the past too about like, on like other things I would not repeat myself about either. And yeah, I won't repeat myself on other things that I talked about in the past too, and all that with trains. And yeah, because basically if everybody wants to know what types of trains I collect, or what trains I like, or whatever, or don't like, or what though, that it's on my YouTube description and all that for you guys to check out and all that. And yeah, because nowadays, folks, I just collect any type of trains of what I feel that it's necessary to collect for my collections, depending how I feel or what I like about it, or if I feel that it would be a good fit, you know. Yeah, any of those reasons, folks, or anything else, you know. I might have explained it too and everything, folks, but yeah, but all you guys need to know is that I'm just gonna collect any type of trains nowadays, no matter how I feel about it though, you know. And more importantly, I'm just gonna be like every other rail fan and YouTuber and model railroader, and just enjoy my train life and my train hobby. to. It makes me happy, you know? So yeah. Alrighty. And you know what, folks? Now that I think of it too, folks, for the motorized line, for the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends, but I still call them Trackmaster to this day. Then the only two left to get would actually be a duck that I've been looking for. That's one of my favorites that I've been looking for months. And then the other one is Nia with that yellow rolling stock and the orange wheels. So yeah, it's those two that are left to get. And yeah, but however, folks, the only one that I'm leaving out is that expansion pack. I think that's what you call it. But no, whatever the name of it is. Whatever the name of that is, the one that I'm leaving out that comes with a motorized Gordon, a motorized Percy, a motorized Thomas, and a metal James and metal Henry. That, whatever the name of that is, I'm just calling it the expansion pack. Whatever that's called, that one I'm not collecting because I pretty much like have them and all that, because I pretty much have all those now and everything, and it would not make sense at all to collect the expansion pack when I know that pretty much all the ones that are in that expansion pack are pretty much what I all have now and everything. And yeah. Oh yeah, and then the other two that I'm leaving out as well is the other two I'm gonna leave out as well is, yeah, the other two I'm gonna leave out, folks. The other two I'm gonna leave out as well for the 80th anniversary motorized line of Thomas and Friends is Gordon and James. That their rolling stock is pretty much their tenders and everything, and yeah, those ones don't come with actual rolling stock. That pretty much their tenders are just their own rolling stock to themselves, you know. But yeah. Yeah, I think those ones are the Case A, I believe. I believe that those ones might be, I think those ones are called Case A, I believe. I don't know. But yeah, that expansion pack, if that's what the name of it is, the one that's only sold on Amazon, I think. So yeah, it's that one. Motorized Gordon. The one with the red running board. And motorized James with the red running board. It's those three I'm leaving out of the equation that I'm not going to collect. So yeah. And folks, like I said, that any trains nowadays I'll just collect no matter how I feel about it or whatever. Just as long as I feel that it's a good fit or if it's necessary, you know, or if I'm interested in it. That besides collecting any types of trains nowadays, folks, that as long as everybody knows the two most important trains that I love to collect, which is model trains regular model trains of HO scale, N scale, and O scale too sometimes. So yeah, model trains HO scale, N scale, and sometimes O scale. That's one of them I love to collect. And then the second one I love to collect is Thomas and Friends model trains of HO scale Bachmann, N scale Bachmann, O scale Lionel, and HO narrow gauge Bachmann. So yeah, it's those are the two most important trains. Those are the two most important trains that I love to collect, are those ones for model trains. And you guys already might know how the status works with the Thomas and Friends model trains, of what I explained about them before, and what I want to do and everything, and what the goal is. That I don't have to explain that part again, as I have before in the past. So yeah. So yeah, besides collecting those two model train, okay, yeah, so besides collecting the two most important trains that I love to collect, out of all types of trains I love to collect, that's what's currently up right now. And then something else too, that and then number 3, kinda, so it's the two most important trains that I love to collect on model trains, is those two. And then one other thing too, folks, is that I do not like to collect anything that's 100% all engines go. Of anything 100% all engines go, I do not like to collect. So yeah, as long as everybody knows those 3, then that's all that matters. And I've said it before in the past, that's what's currently up right now. But hey, even if I collect anything all engines go, that's 100% all engines go. If I do, don't mind me at all. And yeah, because like I said, folks, that I'll just collect anything trains nowadays, no matter how I feel about it, though, because I just love trains and all that, so yeah. Alright, so after this video, I'm done repeating myself and everything, though. I'm just gonna carry on with my channel and videos and keep posting what I love and everything, and whatever I collect or buy of trains, no matter what it is or what it looks like or how I feel about it or what, though. I'm just gonna collect it or whatever, though, no matter how I feel about it. So yeah. Because after this video, and when I post the next video, I won't repeat myself about it, though. So yeah, folks. So yeah. Alright, that's it for today's video, folks. Leave a like and subscribe, and remember, I promise you I'm not going to repeat myself. I won't repeat myself in my next video. I promise you that from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart, I will not repeat myself in the next video. I promise you that. I'm going to carry on with my YouTube channel, do what makes me happy and all that. And yeah. That is that, folks. That is that. Alright, leave a like and subscribe. Peace out. Have a good night, everybody.